What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 17, and we start today's episode off with a game against Leicester City here in the FA Cup. Now, of course, as you can see by my side, I did make a couple of changes here and there, but still a very, very strong squad for this game because, you know, in our last FA Cup game, we just about avoided embarrassment after we scored two late goals against Crewe Alexandra away from home to make it through to the next round. And I thought with Leicester City, now a Premier League side, after their promotion last year, I'm not going to take any chances. You know, I'm going to play my first team. Well, you know, a strong enough first team. You know, there's only a couple of changes. For example, Ings coming in for Berahino, but play pretty much my first team and try and get ourselves through to the next round. Because yes, the league is more important than the FA Cup. I've always said that the league is my main focus. But at the end of the day, I don't want any more embarrassment. I don't want any more, you know, heart trouble. Basically, knowing if we're 10 minutes to go with one goal down, you know, I don't want to be sitting there thinking, oh my god, I should play a stronger squad. So I thought I'd play a very decent squad against this Leicester team and hopefully get ourselves through to the next round, because a cup run could be good. You know, a cup run could be good for us. And although I'd prefer to focus my attention on the league, cup run could be very beneficial in terms of, well, finance, for example, and morale as well. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But the first chance this game would fall in the 30th minute, and the first goal would also be scored as well. It was Callum Chambers who put in another cross from the right hand side. He picked out Claudio Yacob, and Yacob, well, his first header was blocked, but as the ball went down onto the floor, he was never going to miss that chance. 3 yards out with pretty much, well, not an open goal. Kasper Schmeichel was right there, but still, he was never going to miss. And Yacob makes it 1-0, and we go in front in this game. And in the 33rd minute, you see Leicester come forward here. The cross by Konjeski is blocked, and it comes out to Hammond. Hammond finds Danny Drinkwater, he finds Ajoa. The cross into the box finds James at the far post, but Matty James's header is well saved by Ben Foster, and it is still 1-0. And from the corner, it is James who crosses the ball into the centre, trying to pick out one of his teammates. One of them is Chris Wood, the former West Brom striker, who just about get the ball away. It comes to Lamine Sane, who backheels it. It comes to Esteban Cambiasso, the very experienced midfielder. He finds Sane, who finds Koncheski, finds James, who finds Sane. Sane into Danny Drinkwater, who turns his man, keeps hold of the ball, gives it to Chris Wood, the former West Brom striker, picks out Danny Drinkwater, and unfortunately for us, Leicester do get themselves the equalising goal. And my defending there was really, really poor. I've been defending quite poorly all season, really. There was a few games in a row, right, was actually doing quite well. We had like 3 clean sheets in a row, which was bizarre. But now I'm back to my old self, and I'm defending like a headless chicken, just running around the place trying to stop the attackers from coming in. But still, it's West Brom 1, Leicester 1. And in the 39th minute, Danny Simpson collects the ball for Leicester, crosses the ball in, picks out Danny Drinkwater, looking for his second goal of the game. But Ben Foster, our captain, makes a good save and tips the ball over the bar. So 1-1 to score at half time, and frustrating first half, really. I mean, we didn't play very well. We'd only had one real chance, which Yacob took, and Leicester were looking very menacing every time they came forward, so I'd have to be wary of that threat. But in the second half, here is a beater, almost loses the ball. He takes on Paul Koncheski, beats him, keeps on going, real good chance here, turns, gets onto his right foot, chips the ball in, and Claudio Yacob really should have scored his second goal of the game. Free header, 6 yards out. No wonder he's disappointed. He puts the ball wide, and it's still 1-1. But we came out of the blocks flying in the second half, and in the 56th minute, Danny Ings turns his man here. Great chance. He plays the ball forward towards Brown O'Day, who stops the ball, gets past Hammond, and what a finish by Brown O'Day. Absolutely fantastic. The Nigerian striker who, yes, has had his injury problems this season. He was out for 2 months after he suffered an injury at Anfield against Liverpool, but whenever I put this guy in a team, I feel confident he's going to contribute to the style of play. Whether he gets a goal or an assist, I'm sure he'll get something in this game, and he does it here as well. It's a brilliant finish by Brown O'Day. He just stops, waits to turn, beats Hammond, and it's a great finish with his weaker left foot past Kasper Schmeichel, who at first I thought should have at least got some fingertips on it, but he didn't. It went straight into the back of the net. No wonder Ben Foster's happy, because he had a very good first half, making a couple of really decent saves. And it is West Brom 2, Leicester 1. So we're back in front in this game, and I'm very pleased with that. But Leicester would have to wait until the 75th minute for another chance here, as we were restricting them to long-range shots. And as Danny Drinkwater, the goal scorer, rides his man, he was having a great game. He picks out the former West Brom man, Chris Wood. Wood collects the ball, plays it back to Danny Drinkwater, the danger man. He finds Hammond. Hammond gives the ball inside eventually as he turns his man towards Sane. Sane then collects the ball, couldn't get the ball off Leicester. James collects it, finds Danny Drinkwater. Drinkwater finds Wood, who offloads it to Ajoa, and Leonardo Ajoa makes it West Brom 2, Leicester 2. So he's having a great start to his Leicester career in real life, and what a fantastic finish that is by the big striker. He just levers the ball past Ben Foster. Big striker? Biggish striker. Good finish by Ajoa anyway. Levers the ball into the top corner, and it's West Brom 2, 2, Leicester 2. And in the 90th minute, it looks as though the game was going to a replay. We won a free kick though, Jordan Abita stood over it. And remember in the game against Leicester at the King Power Stadium, we brought on a man off the bench and he scored a late header in stoppage time. Well, the exact same thing happens here. Jordan Abita swings in this free kick. He picks out Gamboa, the right back, who gets his first goal for the club. I've barely used the guy because I haven't really needed to. Really, Callum Chambers has been in great form this year. I brought him off the bench, and just like Vestergaard did at the King Power Stadium, I brought the guy off with just a few minutes to go. Brought the guy on the bench, off the bench just a few minutes to go, and he ends up scoring the winner from a free kick which he heads in. So it's just a carbon copy, really, isn't it? As you can see, he comes off the bench here along with Sessegnon and Victor Anachabi. And the funny thing is, I brought on Gamboa as the defensive player out of those three, and instead he ends up winning us the game with 10 minutes to, as he came on with 10 minutes to go. He ended up winning us the game in stoppage time. So yeah, we do win the game by 3 goals to 2 because, as you'll see, unfortunately I tapped X really quickly and I skipped past the animations at the end, so apologies for that. But yeah, we won the game by 3 goals to 2. Gamboa coming off the bench to score an injury time winner with the header, just like Vestergaard did at the King Power Stadium, and I'm absolutely delighted. So as you'll see by the stats as well, it was quite an average game really in terms of who deserved to go through. Leicester will claim they did, they had more shots and they did play better really in terms of possession and shots on target too. But I said this many times before, you've got to be clinical. You have to be clinical if you want to go through in the cups, and we were. If you don't take your chances, you go out. That's knockout football. That's how it is. If you don't take your chances, you'll pay for it and you'll get knocked out. And we took our chances, so we go through, and there you go. But anyway, it was then time for transfer deadline day, and everyone loves transfer deadline day, but you may not love this transfer deadline day because it was unbelievably boring. Ben Foster had a bid from Stuttgart which we rejected. Jason Davidson is going on loan to QPR for the rest of the season, which I'm okay with because I know some of you guys want me to use the guy, particularly you Australian guys. He doesn't really get much first team football here, so it's better for him just to get some game time, and after his loan spell we'll decide whether we want to keep him on or not. But as you can see, we had basically no money to work with. 15 grand in the wage budget was all we had, and as you can see, I couldn't even sign any players because, as you'll see, I tried to agree a deal to get Ben Amos in next year on a pre-contract, but it said I'll go over the maximum squad size, which is kind of annoying because we wouldn't, clearly, because Ben Amos won't arrive until next year. He won't be our player until next year, so he won't be going over the maximum squad size at all, So I don't really understand that, but still, yeah, we couldn't sign anyone because we were already at maximum capacity for the squad, which is, really annoying because I wouldn't have minded signing Ben Amos on a pre-contract because even if we don't like him, we can sell him next year for profit. But as you'll see, the only offers we got were loan offers. I had quite a few players on the transfer list, a few of these 50-odd rated players, but only loans came in. Callum Jones left a Dagenham on a season-long loan, which I'm okay with, and that's all we could do, unfortunately. So I did want to shift on 1 or 2 players. I think Craig Gardner's on a transfer list as well. We couldn't sell anyone, unfortunately, and we just had to settle for a couple of players leaving on loan in Davidson and Jones, and we couldn't sign Ben Amos on a free. He ended up going to Fulham on a pre-contract, which I'm okay with. But still quite a frustrating deadline day really, because I did want to make 1 or 2 signings, but we had no money, and unfortunately we couldn't sign anyone pre-contracts either because we were at 42 players for the squad already, and the game would register a player coming in on a pre-contract as a squad member for this year, even though they technically wouldn't be, which is annoying, but that's EA for you. But still, as you'll see by the end of the transfer window and the transfer deadline day sort of final hour, if you will, for the window we spent, I think it was about 75 grand, and we brought in like 6 players. It was ridiculous. Of course, most of those were those unbelievable bargains where we managed to sign Bellerin, Bentaleb, and who's the other player, Bigger Amana, for a combined total of about 75 grand, which is mental. But still, yeah, it must have been 75 grand, but still, here's a look at the complete list of successful negotiations for both transfer windows and the players that came in before we arrived. You can see who came in, who arrived, who did what basically, and you'd also see us end the transfer deadline day as well. So yeah, pretty poor transfer deadline day really, not going to lie. I wanted to do more things, but I had no money, nothing I could really do. We were at maximum capacity for the squad, couldn't sell on any players, but that's just how it is. I'm okay anyway, because of course we brought in a few decent young players for an unbelievably cheap fee, and we got a couple of players loaned out as well, and removed some Deadwood players in the likes of Pocognoli and Samras. But the last thing you'll see is we did indeed get given £1 million after the deadline day finished. That's brilliant. Well done me. Completely completely messed that up, waited way too long. But even so, that will help for, you know, I don't know, end of season budget and stuff. And that does indeed end transfer deadline day. So as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.